Hello, everybody. Welcome back to KritzKast, the Team Fortress 2 podcast. Available only, I would normally say only at KritzKast.com. Actually, in this case, it's available at twitchtv.kritzkast. We had a little bit of an incident earlier when we gave away a Novint Falcon, and the experience was dramatic enough to ensure that the entire website failed. However...
Gee, thanks.
The wonderful world of KritzKast does not end there. We still have with us Renegade from Novint.
So
yeah, there we go.
still here.
Hey,
Still here.
We also have Kronos. We also have Tempest, and we also have Aggro myself. And if he's around, is Rusky? Is Rusky do on Skype? Rusky, if you're there in chat at the moment, do you want to poke us? I want to grab you and bring you in because you're actually kind of an awesome person to talk to anyway.
I don't think he's on Skype at the moment. I don't see him.
I don't see him on Skype. He's actually in the chat room, so Rusky, just jump on Skype. Jump on Skype, man. But basically, what we're going to do now is a bit of a post show. So anyone who tunes into this using YouTube, you're going to see a bit of the chaos that is,
a bit of awesomeness, to be honest,
and a little bit of the awesomeness that is KritzKast.
Usually the chaos.
We had a really, really good episode. We enjoyed ourselves tremendously. I'm looking forward to not having to do the edit for this one. But
yeah,
one of
thanks.
the things,
Thanks, love you too.
Yeah,
thanks.
no worries. One of the things that did happen on this was our guest Renegade from Novint, the scripter for Team Fortress 2, for this incredible piece of hardware. He was generous enough to allow one of these Novint Falcons to be given away. And perhaps because he's awesome, or perhaps because I showered
I'm
today,
an idiot.
or perhaps because Tempest did not exceed in his success the way that he normally does. He might have failed.
I made a minor boo-boo that turned into a major boo-boo that turned into a shitstorm that killed our website.
Yeah, so generally speaking, mistakes
Literally,
were made.
one little thing,
Mistakes.
and then it went...
Yeah. So
filtered down in hatred.
So anyway, the long and tall and short of all of that is that the one Novint Falcon that was going to be given away has been given away. Congratulations to Bait or Bat, our winner.
Bat. I don't know why I called him Bait.
I don't want to call him Bait either. Now I want to call him Bait. So Bat, our winner.
You should change your name to Bait so we're right.
Yeah, do it, man. We also have to be given away once again. One more. Can you believe it, guys? One more.
I know, I can't believe it.
I know,
I
it's kind of freaking awesome,
really
actually.
Can't.
One more. Novit. Did I get it right? No, it's Novint. Oh, so close. So close.
We screwed up this time, too bad.
Novit.
One more.
Novint
Falcon.
Why did... I have a question. Why
Yeah,
did you name your company such an annoyingly difficult word to say? No, I'm kidding.
Sorry, before you go anywhere, before we say anything else.
Well, Charles Novint had the idea for one day.
Yeah, it's that a story behind Portal 2. Anyway, what we want to do before we actually release this into your baying claws, before we try and replicate the failure that was the last attempt at this success, what Renegade really wants to do is to open the floor up to questions from the chat room. If there's anybody who wants to ask anything about the Novint, I suggest you go right ahead now. And
Go now.
Freaking ask him.
Do it. Fracking do it.
Ask me questions.
And in the meantime, I will grab Will. Well, hey. That sounds bad.
So yes, has the chat room got any questions about it? Because they were saying some during the show. I think we managed to answer the majority of them, but I think there are a few that may have slipped past.
Okay, so here we go. Faint of heart. Are you going to come out with more grips?
Actually, that's a really good question. Right now, the main grip that's out that would be considered more of a custom grip is the pistol grip, obviously. The idea was to eventually come out with a wheel grip because we want the people who would have more racing experience with the Falcon to be a little more involved in it. So that's another grip we were thinking about. And also an ergonomic grip because... For those who don't know, you can use the Falcon in Windows as a mouse, so it replaces your mouse in Windows. So the pistol grip isn't the best grip to use when you're browsing Windows. People give you weird looks.
Yeah, take that website.
That's how our website came down. Now it all makes sense.
You shipped that pretty fast to bet.
It wasn't me doing stupid things. No.
I killed it.
And I'll do it again.
No, but the pistol grip, honestly, right now I don't see any grips coming out in the near future, any new grips, but our main focus is shooters, third-person shooters and first-person shooters, although racing games are great with any grip, really. But in my opinion, the pistol grip is right now the most comfortable grip that is available, and if you're, playing Team Fortress 2 or really playing any game at all, that's probably the grip you're going to want to use. So.
We talked a little bit about the whole left-handed and right-handed issue, and in fact it's come back up again in the chat. The thing with there being no left-handed grip at the moment is that it's such a small population that would require it. And you did kind of mention that maybe when you revise the whole kind of gripping thing, that maybe it's something you would talk about or consider doing then. But I kind of almost want to start talking about the XEO now, but it's that there's so much that you can talk about with regards to the Novint Falcon. If you consider that maybe, this has been out for sort of 2008 was when you brought this out. Is that right? Am I getting this right?
The Falcon's been around for, I'd say, in the form that it is now, probably since 2008. So that sounds about right. Yeah, because there's been very different. It didn't always look the way it looks, so to speak. So yeah.
And there would have been research behind it as well for, I imagine, many years.
Yeah.
When you were doing all of this, or when all of this research was being done, again, not necessarily you, but there we go. Such things as the PlayStation, the sort of the PS3's iToy, and I think more relevant, more recently, the IBM, Microsoft Xbox, sort of interactive 3D space interactive tools weren't even a sort of a figment of anyone's imagination. Is this? This is purely a PC peripheral as it stands, but can you see this being something that you maybe want to integrate with this kind of actual feedback sort of thing, being integrated into maybe an Xbox peripheral or a PS3 peripheral?
Well, the idea with the Falcon was to start on the PC and then move outwards to other platforms. But nothing official, obviously. The main focus was always the PC. But when you look at things like the Xbox and the PlayStation, you see like the opportunity to have this type of feedback as being very, very real. You look at what they have now, they have this basic vibration with the PlayStation and Xbox controllers. And what the Falcon, the technology at least within the Falcon, is far superior to any of that. Even comparing them one-to-one isn't really fair for the controller, the feedback within the controller itself just being a vibration. We're talking about three-dimensional feedback where you feel recoil, you feel reloads, you feel damage, you feel everything. So basing it on that, yeah, there's probably a huge opportunity in the console market. Whether we're going to pursue it or not, I can't say for sure. But what does come to mind, just to mention it briefly, is there's a new technology called the Zeo, which Novint is going to be developing. And what this is an exoskeleton arm. So what it does is you put it on your arm, your forearm, or the final design hasn't been created yet, but it is in progress. In either case, it's going to have the same kind of feedback as the Falcon has, so you'll feel the recoil on your arm itself and reloads and all that fun stuff. And also, the idea, at least, I can't say this as a guarantee, but it's to also have one-to-one motion control as well implemented into it. So none of this Kinect, none of this, kind of close to one-to-one. It would be actually mechanical, so it would be one-to-one with what you have on the screen. So you combine motion control with touch, and you have something truly compelling for the console market. I can't say necessarily if it's going to be like, I don't know if it's going to end up on the consoles. I can't make any further comment than that, but that will be on the PC. And for those people who game in front of a TV, for example, on their PC, or have a really big screen, I think that's a truly compelling experience right there. And that's really where I see the consoles coming in and using the technology that's in the Falcon.
That's fantastic. Look, before we go on to anything else, there's two things that really need to happen. First of all, we need to say goodbye to Kronos.
Yep, since unfortunately I have to leave soon because there's going to be loud things very quickly, and my actual day job sort of thing, I have a giant Taco Bell related job due Tuesday morning, and I have to actually
you and your
work
Taco
it out.
Bell.
How many people can say that?
I don't even like Taco Bell.
No, you don't like to say that, man. You're trying to get them as sponsors. Oh, that'd be amazing. Never mind, you'd have to email stuff or send stuff to me. That won't work. Okay, thanks for playing, Kronos.
See you guys later. Have good luck with the contest this time.
Thanks, Kronos.
Bye.
Second thing, we've actually been able to get hold of Will Siegerman, otherwise known as Rusky Doo, creator of the Lo-Fi Long Wave. We had him on a few of these sort of post-game chats, and it's cool to be able to bring him in. But most importantly, I'm bringing him in mostly because he knows shit. So welcome to the call, Rusky.
Hello there. Oh god, I know shit. Now I'm on.
Yes.
Hot seat. Oh god.
Apparently you know shit about cheese as well, and this won't make sense to anyone until episode 144 comes out. But thanks for the cheese-related question.
Damn you.
On topic, staying away from cheese just for now. The thing that excites me about things like the Falcon, which is haptic controllers, haptic is the buzzword here, is so controllers, you've got these kind of wafty controllers, like you've got the Xbox flail in the air controller, and you've got the Wii kind of hold a thing and flail in the air controller. But if you're trying to hold a sword with these things, you're just wafting. There's no feedback, so it doesn't feel like a sword. With something like the Novint, if you push, you get a resistance. So it's like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yep.
You know, you can't actually feel something returning, which is kind of what you want, right?
That's actually the number one thing. Like I play games all the time, and for me it's just like I can wave around all I want, but if I'm not feeling an actual physical interaction with what I'm doing, it doesn't feel real. So I think that's the missing link right now, especially with the consoles. But if you have a PC gamers are always better than console gamers, so now you have the Falcon to make you feel more superior. Sorry, I hope I didn't offend it.
I looked it up a little bit, but I'm not sure how many people would be interested in this. But can you use it as a sculpting tool? Because I've seen a lot of videos on this where you have the haptic controllers like the Falcon, and you can scoop into something that you're 3D modeling.
Well, there is some software called Create. It's just a basic 3D modeling type of software where you can create shapes and then actually mold them with the Falcon. But actual integration into true 3D modeling programs, I'm not 100% aware of. But it is always something that I've been asked so many times, and I really would like to say yes, that is something we're doing. But in order to do it at a level, I think that I would consider, acceptable for any 3D modelers is to work with the company that actually creates the software, and in a lot of those cases that isn't entirely possible. So I think it's a fantastic tool for 3D modeling. I think it's something that can be truly revolutionary in that field, but it's just a shame that it's hard to work with developers in some cases, with Valve exception for a lot of the situations. So yep.
Yeah, no.
Does that answer your question? Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. I imagine it'd be an incredible amount of work to, actually get it kind of with the force feedback in different textures of materials and such. But yeah.
Yeah, no. That's one thing that for different textures, there's like a tutorial for the Falcon, and you can feel what the different, like sand and a magnet, even feeling the pull of a magnet. You can feel bumps and everything. So really, like the core code to make different textures is already in existence. It's just a matter of getting to work with these developers on this software,
Yeah. Is there anywhere where you can actually get your hands on one of these to try it out? Because I imagine, like, from a purchaser's point of view, it's like this new interface that I don't know how it'll feel, so I don't know if I want one. It looks cool, but what if I like, actually use it and it's like, oh, that's not for me? Or what if I'd use it and I'd be like, oh my god, how have I ever, got by without one of these? Is there like a way that you can try it out somewhere?
Well, yeah, that's the biggest barrier. I just saw an image come up, and I thought it said 100 billion on the I'm like, oh my god, 100
That's
billion.
quite a lot. Okay.
No, but the biggest barrier, and I found that this is something that people ask all the time, is where can I try it? And really, we usually only go to gaming events within the United States or gaming conventions such as E3 or Digital Life, things like that. Mostly E3. Like that's the main one that we usually try to attend every year. And if you're in the LA area, that's great. But outside of that, it's kind of tough to actually try the Falcon. Now, if you get it and like you don't like it, there's always a 30-day. You can contact us like any other company and say, look, it wasn't for me. And obviously, you might have to pay the return shipping, but we'll give you the refund on your purchase. But at the same time, I've had so many people buy it and be like, oh, I don't know, maybe this isn't for me. But I'd say 9 times, maybe even 9.9 times out of 10, they get it and they're like, holy crap, this is completely awesome. I don't understand. I cannot go back to the mouse because this is just the greatest experience I've ever had for a gaming peripheral for a really, really long time. And generally, like, I can totally understand that sentiment because when I first used the Falcon, I wasn't part of Novint. I was actually probably 18 years old. I'm 26 now, just for people's reference. I was probably 18 to 20 years old when I first tried the Falcon. I don't remember the exact year, but I was like, what is this? This is completely ridiculous, and I don't think this is ever going to be anything. And when I first laid my hands on it and I played Half-Life 2 with it, I was like, holy crap, this is the next thing in gaming, and it is what everyone is going to want once they realize what it actually is and they try it out. But that's the thing, it is a big barrier, but sometimes you have to go to your friends who maybe have it and say, look, can I try it out, man? This looks so cool. And really that's the only way I see, that at this point you can try is maybe having a friend make the purchase, and I mean the Black Friday discount, which we have, I haven't gotten into that yet on the post show, but that'll give you a good opportunity to pick one up. And of course, you can always contact us and say, look, this isn't for me, this is why it isn't for me, is there any way I can return it? And as long as it's within 30 days, we'll have no problem with that.
It is a shame that it isn't something that is widely out there in shops, as in so somebody can physically go in and have a look at it, because like you were saying, I mean, I haven't even got my hands on one, but just everything that you've said, I'm totally sold on it. Like it's not even funny. Like I'm just.
While we're talking about stuff, I mean, I know. I think we're all sharing the same sentiment that it's a little bit like Minecraft. Like until you play Minecraft, you don't want to play Minecraft.
You don't get Minecraft.
But as soon as you do, you love it. And I think this is something that you need to work out internally within your own business, how you can get it into people's hands. But we need to sort of cover what's being said. That you mentioned the Black Friday deal. We need to say that we're talking to you at the moment because basically you posted a message up in the Steam powered user forum saying that you're going to have a Black Friday deal. It's going to be awesome. This is not an inexpensive peripheral. This is actually an incredible piece of technology that enables users to have this haptic feedback to get a sensation when they're being shot, where they're being shot from. Also, whenever they fire a gun, regardless of whether the gun is a flamethrower or a heavy weapons machine gun, they get a sensation, a vibration type sensation, or even a forcing kickback type style of sensation to say that actually you're not just clicking a mouse, you're actually firing a weapon, and it really does give you that incredible sensation that you're living the game. But the item itself retails at what, $279. It's for the full-on pistol grip experience. It's the big bundle is $279.95. Is that right?
That's right. Yep.
But for a one-off for Black Friday, the big American holiday, the beginning of a big American holiday post Thanksgiving, the big sales period starting on the 23rd. Is that right, or 25th, or?
Yeah, it's from the 23rd to the 25th. It'll be starting for exact time. It'll be starting at 11:59 p.m.
Awesome.
on the 22nd. So I like to say, actually, wait, that would be 12. I'll do one of the two. 12:01 on the 23rd, but around that time, I will activate codes.
Okay, and the big code that we want you guys to use is KritzKast Black Friday 2011. So that's KritzKast Black Friday 2011, and that'll get people a huge discount.
Yep, and that will only work on the 23rd when I activate the code. It'll be, for those asking in the chat, I see a little question there on Pacific time or Eastern time. It'll be in Eastern time, which is whatever it is for you, but it'll be at 12 o'clock approximately on the 23rd, and that's 12 o'clock in the morning on the 23rd.
Awesome.
Yep.
It's kind of, I know we love the chat room and they've got some fantastic questions. I'm also slightly disturbed by them because they are requesting that you have a fleshlight grip for when they play Second Life. Is that a feature that you're thinking of implementing, maybe?
I'm not thinking of implementing it, but I think it was already implemented on a YouTube video.
Oh God!
I'm not even kidding, and that's, you guys can look it up on your own time.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay with not looking up
looking it up now.
I know you're looking it up. I'm tempted to look it up too, but I'm fearful if I do, it's going to appear on the screen and it won't be that. It'll be something else at all. Actually, speaking of random questions, Schutzund might have been asking this in jest, but it's actually kind of a relevant question. I think I would like to know the answer as well. Does it stain? The device itself seems to be made from a variety of materials, but they tend to be very light in colour.
Wait, does it stain? Is this related to the...
I don't know! I don't... Because he asked this a long time ago, and I'm just coming back to it now, and I'm thinking, I really wish the conversation hadn't gone that way. But seriously, what's it made of, and how well does it wear?
Well, the actual unit itself is made of a very hard plastic. The core, you see if you look at the picture on the screen, you'll see where the Novint badge is. That actually core body, the sphere part of the body, is made of a very hard plastic. The 3 arms are made all of metal. There's the plastic attachments there, but they're entirely made of metal. I mean, that's the only way to make them durable enough. And the base is very heavy. It's a solid metal base, so... it's very well constructed. It's designed to last. It's not designed just to, be thrown away in a year like some of the mice I've used. But
yeah,
really, I'm not saying that because I work for Novint. I'm saying that because I've used a mouse a year, my whole life. So really, it's made to last. And that is the number one thing that people don't always get from what the pictures they see. And I've gotten a lot of replies and support replies type things. People saying, "Wow, this is built way better than I thought it would be," and it really is solid. So, yeah.
Okay, we've got Codename at the moment asking us to come in a variety of colours.
Well, there was a limited time Black Falcon, which is no longer available for sale. We may have it available for sale again in the future, but right now there's only the white and silver. But I think the white and silver is pretty sleek, so I think that's a good...
especially if you're playing Portal, like you were saying before.
Yeah.
It has a very Portal-esque design going on, so yeah.
Does this predates the Portal gun, or...?
It does.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I'm never...
Does Valve owe you some royalties for this? Because the similarity to the Portal gun is a little bit...
You look at the Portal gun, flip the Falcon around, and have the arms facing away from you, and you're just like, wow, that actually looks like the Portal gun.
So you don't dare pull the trigger in case a portal appears in your chest.
Exactly.
Good point, man.
That's the number one concern.
That's number one concern.
Yeah, that's on the fact, man.
Can you confirm or deny this is a fact? Will it create portals inside of your chest while using?
I cannot confirm. You could try, but I don't. Yeah. I have no liability.
I don't think it'll happen.
Actually, we've had a couple of people ask this question, and again, considering the nature of our chat room, I'm fearful to ask it. But does your wrist hurt after usage?
That's actually a legitimate question. So
is it? It's not
just. Does it make you go blind?
You don't know our audience. It may not be a legitimate question.
It sounds legitimate, but
okay.
Here's the thing about your wrist. When you're holding the Falcon, it actually has gravity compensation. So if you let go of it, it will stay in place. So, it doesn't really weigh down on your hand, and that makes it a lot easier to use for extended periods of time.
Cool. That's actually, I know that sounds like a silly thing to say, but that actually will make a huge amount of difference because, like you were saying, if you're always fighting against it, to be in an idle position, if you're fighting, then that's going to be strenuous at the minimum. So, yeah, that's actually really, really cool. And another question that somebody in the chat room says that I think it kind of related and makes, does it make certain type of things more difficult? For example, rocket jumping. Is rocket jumping more difficult or easier, or is it just exactly the same?
That's another question that I've gotten a lot from the TF2 community, and really once you adjust to using the Falcon, it's exactly the same. Like, I've had pro players who've used it and they said, I rocket jump all the time. I rocket jump as well, not as well as most soldiers. I'm main demo, so I can tell you that you can sticky jump fine, but
well, yes.
But rocket jumping, I would say if you can do it with your current control scheme, then you can do it with the Falcon. So,
cool.
Yep.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you learn it to the top level you could with it, do you think you'd be better or worse than with a mouse?
That's a tough question, and I think it depends on the person, really. I personally feel like I'm better with it now because really it gives you more control over your movements. It's actually one-to-one when you think about it. With a mouse, you're on a 2D surface, so you're moving around on a flat surface. With the Falcon, you move up, you look up, you move down, you look down, you move left, right, that whole story. So essentially, it gives you more control and more logical movements when you're looking around. On top of that, as opposed to having that mouse lift or whatever, when you have to move around, some people have a really high sensitivity, so this isn't as much of an issue. But eventually, you're going to run to the end of the surface of your mouse pad with any mouse you have. So instead of having to lift up and reposition it, the Falcon, when you turn, you just push into an invisible wall. Like, it feels like a springy wall, and once you hit that wall, the harder you push into it, the faster you're going to turn left, or the faster you're going to turn right, or look up and look down. So in that sense, it makes aiming smoother. And it is, though, I have to say, for anyone thinking, oh, that sounds kind of different, it is very different, and it takes some getting used to. But once you do, you'll find yourself making quick, precise turns, 180 degrees, a lot faster and a lot better than you were with a mouse. So that's at least in my experience. And bear in mind, I've used the Falcon for probably over 3,000 hours. So, I mean, that is a lot of time. But even so, I'd say that after 40 hours of TF2, and I was at a pretty high level when I was using the mouse when I converted to the Falcon. I'd say about after 40 hours, I was at par. And then after that, I really progressively got better. And I was really happy with that kind of progression with the Falcon. Now, I say 40 hours, might sound intimidating, but I'm sure that it depends on the person. Like my wife, who is a gamer, who plays Team Fortress 2, which is great, she got it right away, which was unbelievable to me, and she's pretty good. So, and that's, she plays Soldier, and she can do everything that anyone else can do as a soldier, rocket jump, all that fun stuff, and she's quite good. So for me, to see that someone grasp it that quickly, immediately, is pretty unbelievable. And it just goes to show that it really all depends on how you approach the Falcon. If you approach it in a way where you say, well, is this going to be the same as the mouse? I might go back to the mouse if I'm not really, comfortable with aiming with it. Then you might take longer to get used to it. But if you dive right in and say, look, I'm doing this, you're going to be a lot more successful with it, a lot faster. So it really all depends on your mindset on that perspective. And really, I should explain, because I don't think we really went into it, but what the Falcon lets you do in Team Fortress 2, which we did not explain post-show, I don't think. Okay. But it lets you feel recoil, reloads, damage, directional damage, which isn't in every game, I should say, but it is in Team Fortress 2. And with a multiplayer game, that's really critical when you can feel when someone's where someone's shooting you from. And it also lets you feel when you double jump as a scout, you'll feel the momentum of the jump. You can also feel back and forth movements. When you jump, when you hit a surface, you're going to feel it. If you jump off a platform like in 2-Fort, you jump off the main platform onto the first level, you're going to feel your impact on the ground. If you're burning, you'll feel a slight, upwards force saying that you're burning. It won't affect your aim at all. If you're underwater, here's a cool one. If you're underwater in Team Fortress 2, you'll be able to feel a different resistance. So it'll feel more kind of, like you're actually in water. Yeah. So that's one of the cooler features of using the Falcon. And really, I forgot what the initial question was because I've been.
So if you want a new question, go on. if you remember.
But yeah, I remember now. But just when you look at the Falcon itself and all those cool features I just mentioned, your mindset shouldn't really be on, oh, can I aim well with this? Because if that is your mindset, then I don't want to be mean to anyone, but I feel like you might not be grasping what it is exactly that the Falcon does, and you might not be buying it for the right reasons. But if you understand what it does, which is the 3D touch, that's the big feature, and you want 3D touch, and you want to feel like you're more involved with the game that you're playing, then the Falcon is definitely for you, and you'll adjust to it. And it might take some time, but in the end, the investment in the game and getting used to it is worth it, especially considering like the amount of games we're now coming out with on a regular basis. So.
Okay, to give you a new question then, in fact this is coming from Mr. Miles, a regular listener and contributor and awesome person of the show. It's difficult actually to read anything that anyone writes again in KritzKast without imagining it to be some sort of double entendre or an innuendo. But he does ask the question, how big is it?
Pretty big.
No, that is a valid point because
I remember,
you can't really gauge the size of something by a photograph unless you have something for
how
context.
big is it on your desk? I mean, does it take up the same sort of space as, for example, a mouse mat would? Is it that kind of footprint or...?
Yes, it's designed to take up the same footprint as a mouse mat, at least on the surface. But it is also decently high up. It's about, I don't know, I'd say 6 to 8 inches high. I don't have the exact measurements on me, but it's higher up than a mouse would be, obviously. But that's because of all the technology involved in creating the effects. But it won't take up any more space surface-wise in terms of a mouse mat. So, yeah, I wish I could show you a picture. I see a lot of people saying that's... Oh, wait, that might be an inappropriate comment. Never mind, I'll ignore that. But... okay, yeah, someone said 9 by 9 by 9. That might be the exact measurement, so maybe I'm kind of off. But really, it's not as big as it sounds. Wow, this is really going in the wrong direction.
What she said.
Wait, hang on. Why would you say it's not as big as it sounds?
Yeah. Well, from a distance, it's like dum, dum, dum. Hang on, we're talking about the Falcon.
In terms of the measurements.
Feedback, you hear the vibrations. That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I almost want to jump into a Team Fortress game right now and show people, or have people listen to what it sounds like, so to speak. Maybe give you an idea of the kind of kickback it has, but maybe we'll do that a little later.
In fact, do you know what I'd like to see, right? I'd like to see a camera over your shoulder while you're playing Team Fortress 2.
Yes,
and
that's actually
the
something
experience.
I really, I'm glad you bring that up because that's actually something I really want to do, is make a video of Team Fortress 2, just showing every single weapon from, and I mean, there's people that have made videos, but I mean make a good video about it.
Well, I mean, like, for example, one of the first ones that I saw somebody, it was a close-up of the actual Falcon itself, and I couldn't see what was happening on the screen. Yeah. And you need both of them in equal context to really understand it, because, just to have the Falcon spazzing out while you're playing again is retarded until you see the context in which it's used. What weapons are being hit, what you're actually firing, and all the rest of it. So, yeah, that'd be cool if you... If you wouldn't mind doing that sometime.
I think, like, if you guys want to work together and do something together on that, maybe we could do a live stream, something like that with video. I think that would honestly be the best way to show everyone, because I spend a lot of time with development, obviously, and for me, my schedule is way too crazy with development of new games and demands of gamers. Demands of gamers are very high.
People.
Yes. Yes. And they want things for free. Nothing less. It has to be free. Not like if the Falcon was free, I bet it would be the most popular device in the world, but it's not, and that's not how the world works, sadly. Sure. But what was I? Crap. See, I forgot my question again.
Man, I feel like I'm constantly supplying you with questions that aren't the one you actually want to ask. But Mr. Miles come in again and said, well, if it is that big, and it's made of a variety of materials like... Come on, let me ask.
What? Come on.
Okay, so here we go. So if it is this big and it's made of like metal and plastics and a variety of different things, how stable is it? I mean, how likely is it to sort of vibrate off the desk?
Very unlikely. I've developed forces that have been very strong, much stronger than most would be. Especially during development, I'm going through all the paces when it comes to that. So I've had it shake on me. I have actually designed forces that literally shake the Falcon up and down when you're firing like a minigun in some games. Call of Duty Black Ops comes to mind. There's a minigun on one of the single player levels. That one feels really, really strong, but it feels awesome at the same time. And that's the great thing about single player. You can make it affect your aim, and it doesn't matter because it still feels amazing, and people don't care as much as a multiplayer experience. So yeah, you can make it shake, but it'll never shake off your desk. Also, back to what I was saying before, we could do like a live broadcast of me with the Falcon if you want.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to get our techies on it. I don't know who our techies are, but we'll get them on it. Damn
We'll
it!
find them and then we'll get them
We'll
on.
find them. Yes.
I've
For
got
me, it
another
would be
question.
just a matter of timing. Yep.
So with the Falcon, right? I mean, when you were like describing it in comparison to a mouse, you kind of just slide it across on your desk. So a mouse like works on a 2D plane. With a Falcon, you've got like in and out. Can it detect like twists and like other movements like that?
For twists, the arms don't really twist, but there is, not in the consumer space right now, but in our advanced product space, there is a software designed to, because the Falcon can do more than just games. I mean, obviously, consumer-wise, it's for gaming, but we made this injection simulator where you could inject a needle into a knee and feel, what it feels like, and you could twist the needle and move it around. So technically, yes, the Falcon can do twists and things like that, but it not yet in the consumer space.
It's amazing that you are thinking about this sort of thing. That it's actually relevant. You've spoken about the kind of 3D shaping and sculpting and the applications, particularly if you got the Zao. How do you call it? Zio.
Zio.
Zio. Okay, so Zio as well, giving you all kinds of feedback. That there stands to be. I mean, my mind is immediately thinking of 1,000 different applications to be applied to. Why did you guys decide that gaming was the best place to start?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't around when that decision was made, so I can't really give you much insight on that, sadly. But I'm glad they decided on that direction. To be honest, I felt like from the conversations I've had with the founder and everything like that, they felt like the gaming space was the one where the Falcon could be applied to a level where it would add the most to the experience than any other application. So when you look at gaming, it was really missing that third level. I mean, you had it on the consoles with the slight vibrations, but you didn't get it on the PC really at all. I mean, the last attempt I remember was, and I had this because I was always been really into the interactions, was like an I Feel Pixel mouse where you could feel vibrations in the mouse. And yeah, that was really great, but it never succeeded because they just gave up on it pretty much, and they just said, well, we'll go into consoles and that's it. But like that is a missing piece on the PCs. And for gaming, when you're experiencing something like entertainment, you want to be as involved in it as possible. And with a movie, when you're watching a movie, you have the theaters have insane sound, and the sound really draws you into the entire experience. Well, and sometimes they have those chairs that move around and things like that, and those really crazy theaters, and that really drives you into that. But with gaming, you only always had the visual and the audio, and it wasn't really, not many gamers are going to have this intense setup with audio that's going to add that much to the experience. And even if it does, you cannot replace touch. You can't. And with a game, adding touch, it just feels great, and it adds a lot to what you're experiencing. And it's hard to really describe what the touch feels like, but I can say that when you go away from the mouse and you try the Falcon, especially with Team Fortress 2, you don't want to go back. You really don't.
Once you've tried touched, it's hard to go back. Okay, on that
point. Stop.
Well,
Let's stop.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
on that note, I think it's time to put a lot of people out of their misery, guys. If you're catching this up on YouTube, you maybe wonder what the hell's going on. We actually did a live episode giveaway, which is something we don't generally tend to do. But we had a lot of fun doing it, and it maybe didn't work out the way that we had actually originally anticipated that it would. But to his enormous credit, Renegade has actually said that why give away one badly when we can give away at least one of them successfully. So we're actually going to do a live giveaway now. So apologies to anyone who's only catching this on YouTube and misses out this opportunity, but frankly, if you want to know what's going on in the world of KritzKast, if you want to be up on every time we do a giveaway, make sure you tune in, make sure you become part of the Steam group. Go along to KritzKast.com. All of the links are in there. Of course, our Twitter account is in there as well. If you want to know anything about Team Fortress 2, basically hang around on our Twitter, really, because that's where we push most of the content to during the week as well. But for right now, for everybody who's in the chat room at the moment, we've still got actually quite a few people in chat.
Still got a fair
a fair few people in chat.
Bit, yeah.
We're going to do another...
In your face, YouTube, as the chat room says.
Harsh, man, harsh. We're going to do another giveaway right now. This is an opportunity to win one of these Novint Falcons. I'm going to pass the mic, as it were, over to Tempest now. He's going to explain far better than I ever could how is this going to work out.
I said that last time, but we saw what.
Yeah, I know, but it's going to work this time. Okay, so here we go.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Deep breaths, everyone.
Breaths, everyone.
Go on.
Okay, so going to be good. Now, those of you who were here during the live show who saw how the initial one worked, and when I say the word works, I mean that very, very loosely, somewhere on the KritzKast site, we had, and I use this in post tense, we had a picture of a falcon carrying a KritzKast logo. If you clicked on that, then you would be directed to a page that would have a number on it, a 6-digit number, and it was the first person in the chat room to come back with that number that would win said falcon. Now, that has not quite happened because the website has gone a little bit doolally. However, there is another website that has not gone a little bit doolally, that has the exact same offer with the exact same details on. That website is thepodcast.com. Our parent site, if you want to call it that. If you go have a look at thepodcast.com and have a look through the website, you will find on there a picture of the falcon in its glorious falcony state. I'm sure that made sense in somebody's head, even if it wasn't mine. And basically, if you click on said falcon, you will get no, it's not 260260. It's not the same number.
The same winning number.
I'm not that stupid.
Nearly.
Nearly that stupid, but I'm not that stupid. I'm just triple checking that it is all up, because that would have been a good idea to check ahead of time before I actually said to go, yes, it's all good. Yep. And hopefully, because of the caching on this site, it shouldn't explode in everybody's faces. I, of course, say that word, should.
Yeah, it should.
No, it's not. Oh, some people have fallen directly into the trap.
Oh,
no, it's not. 961. It is not that number.
Wow, that is so awesome. Actually,
wait, could it be anywhere on that site? Like, could it be on the page that they only get to see after they've donated to the site?
It could be. It could be.
It really
could be.
Oh, man.
It could be in the donations section. It could be in the section talking about do you want to be part of the podcast with a K. I'll put it into the chat room right now, but it's thepodcast.com. The podcast.com.
And in fact,
both me and Agro typed it in at the exact same time, and Rusty did it better because it's a clickable link.
There you go. It's up in big red letters on the screen at the moment. Thepodcast.com. Obviously head along there, and you will see.
Lovely.
Don't tell me you brought the server down. Have they brought the server down?
I'm sorry to say.
Oh my god!
Currently being punched way too hard right now.
Oh!
Come back later when the techies down in research finally find their pocket protectors or whatever they use to build these things from scratch and fix it.
Website,
signed by Saxon Hale.
Oh, at least it's signed by Saxon Hale. That's kind of cool.
So yeah. Okay.
Does this mean we failed twice? What?
We have a winner.
We have a winner. We have a winner. We didn't fail as badly as I thought we were going to.
And I'm smiling back just to make sure nobody else said it before him.
Yeah.
And nobody did. We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen, and that would be Jim Tarnumber.
Jim Tarnung.
Jim Tarnung, followed very, very closely by Alex. He was nipped at the post, and he had
Jim Tarnung managed to squeeze a victory from the jaws of defeat, and actually it would have been our defeat rather than anyone else's. Jim Tarnung, congratulations, mate. I don't know quite how you managed to achieve that.
Apparently, he was just like, I got it! Punch!
It works! It works! It's mine!
Oh, but yeah. Oh, wow. I'm so impressed that he managed to get it down before the server. I think you guys deserve a round of applause. You have brought down two of our servers. And yes, somebody has actually found the page in question. It was on thepodcast.com/Dead Island trailer to be turned into a film. Congratulations, guys. Well done. Well, yes. Well freaking done.
Bravo.
Oh, site's back up again now.
And the website's back up again.
Yeah, this is good. I don't know how this one's up and that one died, but yeah, congratulations, man. That's brilliant.
I'm quite happy with that.
Congrats.
Hey. So I've also this has all been a clever ploy. I've been testing out a new plugin. To stress
this whole time.
It's worked. It's worked.
The real reason.
I was the turkey all along.
Oh wow! So at this point, now it's just like Citizen Lame, and now for a third giveaway. No.
No, that's not going to happen, man. Not going to happen.
They're going to go out of business, and they already have stretched themselves so far. Novint, I can't even begin to explain how awesome I think that company is. I really am just absolutely taken back by how much you guys have pulled out for us here right now.
Well, are you welling up?
No problem.
No, I am. I'm
just.
I'm just so surprised that he was like. I'm like I fucked up. And he was just like, let's have another one.
Let's do another one. Man, that was
way
brilliant.
he did that. It was absolutely fantastic. I really will not stop singing your praises, which is why it was a good investment.
Yeah. Dude, that is so tricky.
So we do need to have a quick chat with our two winners, Butt and
But
I've forgotten his name. Tarn.
Jim.
We will have to get one of the winners along to next KritzKast Con and bring his Novint Falcon.
Yes, there we go. Bat, not Butt. His name's not Butt Tempest. It's Bat.
Jim, I've sent you a message in a little query in the chat, so you should see my probing finger. So I want you to respond to that if you will, mate. That'd be really awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I see your response now. Awesome. So we've made contact. Awesome. Okay, so I'll make sure that the winners get their prizes. Renegade, I don't know if you're cool to answer any more questions. We're perfectly happy to go on with this.
Yeah, sure. I can answer all questions. I just wanted to say, I'm sure you guys were going to say it anyways, but I just want to say that, congrats to the guys, congrats to Bat, and congrats to Jim Tarn. I can't say his name. Jim Tarn.
Hooray! I'm not the only one! Yes!
Congrats to those guys. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to love it. I mean, I hope you do. It's really great. And play with Team Fortress 2, and you'll really see why I love developing for this game and love playing it. But for those who didn't win, we still have that $100 off, and that's a pretty big discount off of our basic price. And just go to the website on the 23rd, 12:01 a.m., $100 discount by entering KritzKast Black Friday 2011, and you'll get it. And with that, let's go on to more questions, I guess, if you guys want to. That's cool with me.
I mean, the
he's taking over the show. He sounded like a host.
Yeah, I know. Talking to him beforehand, he's like, "Are you okay doing this? Oh, we could do an interview." He said, "No. Actually, I used to do a podcast." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
So what did you do before this? What was this? Do they still exist? Can we plug them?
Well, they don't exist anymore, actually.
Did you break them? Is that what it was?
Well, I left and they died. No.
Oh, here it comes, Mr. Gusto.
No, but I used to do broadcasting for almost probably 2-3 years. I used to do broadcasting for Counter-Strike Source, and for Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike 1.6 as well. I was really involved in pretty much Valve broadcast, not Valve directly, but I mean Valve Games broadcasting those. I did for a company called EGLN, Ponage TV, which was the most recent one. I think there was a couple others. I don't remember the names right now, but those are the ones that come to mind. I also did a podcast for gaming and technology for 2 years. That was with a friend of mine. Only reason that stopped is because he didn't want to do it anymore. But that was my experience with doing an actual show with content, and that was really fun, really awesome. Took call-ins and everything. And I also did a very, very brief podcast, again, about gaming and technology with another friend, but that didn't go on for very long, mostly because of that issues with scheduling. But yeah, I've done a lot of presentations online in the past.
It certainly shows.
So how did this lead on to, programming feedback devices?
That's actually a really good question. Really, like I said, I was introduced to the Falcon with Half-Life 2. That was the first time I played it. I played with it, and I was really blown away by it. So I went ahead and I contacted the CEO, and I was like, "Hey, this is awesome. Can I help in some way?" And right at the time, I was in school, and I couldn't really commit myself to it. So I kept broadcasting, kept doing those things, and once I got out of the school, contacted them again, and I started with game testing. I went to some conventions for gaming. I also went to some medical conventions to help out there with that injection simulator I was telling you guys about before. And then I just jumped into it with Doom 3. That was my first game that I worked on. And I was actually contacted by one of the programmers, and he said, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yes, I do. I want to develop forces for this device. Absolutely." So I jumped right into that. That was the first game I ever did forces for. We still have support for that on the website. And then I did the Doom 3 Insurrection of Evil and Resurrection, I don't know, one of the two, Resurrection, Insurrection of Evil. And then I went on to do a whole slew of games, and that was just my beginning there. And honestly, I am just so happy to be a part of something that I feel will help gaming move forward on the PC in ways that it couldn't before in terms of giving this type of experience. I know I don't want to sound like an advertising drone. I'm really coming at you. I know how it might, but I'm really coming at you from a gamer's perspective. This is fucking awesome, and it is really awesome to play with, really fun to play with, and that's the number one thing.
Well,
So
this is genuine passion we're hearing here. I mean,
Yeah.
So you basically saw this technology in school and thought, I want to do that. I'm going to go to these Novint guys and say, yes, I'm working for you.
Absolutely. Like I was, it wasn't in school. It was just actually, I got a Falcon sent to me because my father had interacted with someone with the Falcon. He said, "Oh, my son would think that this is so cool." So I got the Falcon, and then I went from there, and I contacted them, and I wanted to be a part of this in any way possible.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. That's it. Someone's asking payment options in the chat, and I just want to say that I think they were asking if we accept PayPal. Yeah, we do. Just quick answer for that. I'm taking over your show. I'm sorry.
No, go for it. I'm actually desperately trying to write to Jim Tang before he disappears, and hopefully he won't before I've got his email. So, yeah, that'd be kind of awkward if he disappears and someone else.
Well, if he does disappear, you'll get 10 people with exactly the same name
like Jim
saying hi later.
Jim Tnunger. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I've changed my mind. I'm back. Give me the code. In fact, I'm surprised that there aren't more like variations on his name. That would be a cunning thing to do.
Don't give him ideas, Akri. Don't do it.
It's too late. I've already spoken. The words have left my mouth.
But someone could pretend that you got the wrong one in the first place, and they're the genuine one.
We've got logs for that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm trying to read through and seeing if anybody's actually asked you a serious question, which isn't slightly dubious. The only one that's coming up at the moment is someone talking about someone making it into a sex toy, and I guess that probably should never happen. Actually, Sue,
Man, lots of money in the porn industry now.
Well, yeah, I mean it's good money, but where does it stop?
Well, as long as you don't have to, I think if that was going to happen, they wouldn't start accepting returns within 30 days.
Oh, well, technically they've got to, and it's the law.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God! But what if it was like crusty?
Oh, Seriously?
Well, maybe. Okay, this is why you don't want to go into that kind of. Yeah, let's just stay away from that industry.
God. I do see a question, if you don't mind me answering it in the chat.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. Is the code from the Steam-powered user forums and the 1% in here one and the same? Yes, but I'd recommend using the one that you feel you would visit more, because we're really gauging where to put marketing efforts. I mean, I know that's a bit business-like, but yawn. That's nice, Oni. Thank you. No, but really, we're just, if you guys are watching KritzKast and you love KritzKast and you want to see more of the Falcon, or you want to see more examples of the Falcon being used, or you want us to work together with KritzKast more, use the KritzKast code.
In basic terms, use the KritzKast code.
Yeah.
I don't care what you've seen anywhere else. Use KritzKast code. No, seriously, we haven't actually we've not achieved our ultimate goal for KritzKast, which is getting advertisers in at any stage. If this works out, then maybe we'll talk to Novint about it. But we didn't do this because we wanted to get at
No, absolutely not.
This is because they do an awesome thing, and we wanted to give them exposure, and that's something that they totally deserve. So
yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You contacted, to give a background, you came to me, Aggro, and contacted me about it. This was never planned, and it was never something that was on the schedule for any type of advertising. This is purely done to let people in Team Fortress 2 community know about the Falcon. There was never any underlying deal or anything like that done for this. So that's the concern anyone has, then do not have that concern.
cool. Well, that's really sweet, man. I didn't even know that you were doing an alternative code for Spuff. I guess you're going to be doing a few of these things with other groups. Are you actively looking at other groups, or I mean, obviously TF2 is one of the things that you code for, but as you mentioned, there's other games that you actually code for. So is this outreach program happening elsewhere?
In the sense of the codes, or
Well, in the sense of, basically because you posted up on Spuff. It's a great place to post if you're looking for Valve related fanism. But have you posted elsewhere on is there a Battlefield 3 forum somewhere, or?
To be honest with you, not yet. But we plan on going to these communities and letting them know about the Falcon existing. So yeah, I mean, it's always on the schedule there. Really, at this point, for Black Friday, we've gone to a few websites and we've given out a few codes, really just to see where our fan base truly lies and to focus on that. I mean, it's so important to make sure that the people who buy the Falcon get what they want out of it in terms of the game support that is developed in the end. And I mean, if we see people from Team Fortress 2 coming a lot, I mean, that tells us that first-person shooters definitely is a way to focus. And we've already focused on first-person shooters, of course, but, even putting a heavier focus on maybe developing a relationship that goes even further with Valve, and maybe making support for future games and working with them, hopefully, in the future would be fantastic.
Is there somewhere where people can request older games, like?
Of course, yeah. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No, totally. I'm thinking, if someone really wanted it in secret of Monkey Island or something, God knows why, but
Absolutely, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, because just today before the broadcast, I created a new forum for game requests, because I saw a lot of people who wanted them, and I'm just like, look, here's a forum, make your own requests. So you can go to, it's www.falconarmy.com, and just go to the forums, and you can check out game support requests, that forum, and jump into it, make a post, get some people who also have Falcons or who want that support to get behind you, and then I'll look at it and say, well, I mean, if you guys really want it, here it is, kind of thing.
Gamov in chat asks, does it support solitaire? Big question. Big question.
It's a real question there.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No, it can, but I'm not doing it.
Is there a way that people could custom do games? Like if they had a favorite old game and they have a Novint Falcon and they want to try and do it themselves, can they do that?
Of course. Yeah, they can. They can just with FGen, that's the software we use. You can just jump in and do your own script. I mean, you just have to find a way to get the input values, which is, I'm getting a little technical here, so I hope no one gets bored. But you have to go into a memory reading program, and you have to find the actual value for something and when it changes, such as, for example, when you fire a gun, your ammo goes down, and then you make a force when the ammo goes down in memory that corresponds to what you see on screen. So really, it's a process that does take some time to learn, but I mean, I can guide anyone who's interested. I've done classes before on it, so really, if you want to do it, you can, and the tools are there.
That could be an extra thing on your sites like FPS Banana, where they had a custom weapon mods. It could be like a custom feel for a custom weapon mod.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, so somebody actually asked a question a little while ago. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something to do with the. Now I know if you're playing, then it's a case of selecting the weapon you want and then pressing in this case the trigger, and that will execute the command. But is there a way of maybe having not necessarily in Team Fortress 2, but in games where you're using a sword, for example, like Zelda or something. I don't know, Zelda's probably a bad example. It's never going to come to the PC. But if you're using a sword, is there a way of sort of maybe utilizing the ability of the mouse to work in a 3D space to do melee attacks?
Do you mean actually move the Falcon in a way? Yeah, I mean, it is possible, but that type of thing then generally has to be done with the developer of the game, because the one thing you don't want when you're using the Falcon is for something to feel tacked on, and that's something that would feel kind of tacked on and gimmicky, in my opinion. So you really have to do it right, or just you can't really do that. Mm-hmm. But feeling the swing of the sword itself, you can definitely get that, and that you can see in Team Fortress 2 with any melee weapon. So yeah.
Awesome. Somebody's asking about Skyrim. You did mention a while ago that there was going to be a Skyrim forces for the Falcon.
That's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, talking about TF2 being the best way to experience the Falcon, Skyrim's got to be pretty freaking awesome as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. I haven't actually started development on it. It's just on my list of games to develop, and it's going to be done. It's going to be great. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that one. It's very different from a lot of the experiences on first-person shooters, obviously. So, anything that's ever a challenge to develop for is always fun.
And of course, there's this terrible facet to your job where to, be able to do the right forces for a game like Skyrim, you clearly have to play through the entire game, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's tough.
And that's
hard.
That's hard. Yes. It absolutely is. And I've gone through some pretty bad games in the past, and I didn't, it wasn't really fun to develop forces for. That was more so in the past. Now we get to choose which games we develop for, and it's a requirement to play through them almost to their entirety, because if you don't, then you don't know what the weapons are supposed to feel like, how they're supposed to function when you're attacking an enemy, something like that. And that's my number one goal. I want this to be fun. I want people to play this, and I want them to feel like it's an add-on and not a hindrance. And that's the number one thing.
I mean, talking about sort of forces and different forces having different effects and different weapons having different forces. Do you ever find yourself, particularly with Team Fortress 2, given that there are, I wish I knew the number, but many weapons. Do you ever find yourself
68.
Sorry, there are 68 weapons in total.
No, I just made that up. I've got no idea.
That's a really low number. That doesn't sound at all right. It's got to be hundreds of weapons. Do you ever find yourself like replicating a weapon, saying like, "Oh, it's like I'm trying to think the Luxman." That's got to feel a little bit like getting hit by the Luxman's got to feel a little bit like getting hit by the medic's arrow. Do you ever sort of duplicate the forces a little bit?
For the damage forces, those are all innate. Like, you're going to feel a specific damage force according to the amount of damage you get dealt. So really, it'll feel different depending on the amount of damage rather than the source of the damage. But on the same note, when you get hit by an arrow, it does feel like you're getting hit by the arrow, mostly because it's kind of psychological to a certain extent, because you do feel the damage, but you're moving backwards a little bit when you get hit by the arrow. So yeah, I mean, in that sense, in the damage sense, it's not really where I'll spend a lot of time focusing. I'll spend time focusing on weapons, and in that situation, when you look at the minigun and a lot of the different variations of the minigun, there's some reskins and stuff, I will just use the same force, yes.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry, Rusky. Creator of one of the many miniguns is with us today. Rusky, how do you feel about your...
Which minigun? No, which one?
Brass Beast.
I made a different force for that one.
Oh, fantastic.
You'll be happy to know.
Yes. You're not just saying
Describe
that.
to me the Force. Tell me in audio terms what it feels like to wield the Brass Beast.
I actually, I initially designed it to feel a lot more of a kick, like it really feels like you're firing an old-fashioned type gun. But a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's too strong. I can't aim with it." So I was just like,
So you're telling me
"Fine."
Brass Beast was too strong for most people?
Yeah.
I understand.
Exactly.
Man, you've got an erection now, haven't you? Okay,
But-
maybe I went too far with that.
But yeah, and in the end, I still made it feel. It's obviously a little toned down now, but it still feels unique compared to the regular minigun.
So, okay, Gamov is actually asking us in the chat at the moment that is there a feeling that you get when you're being healed? I mean, if you get hit by
Yes.
healing, so if you're running around as a heavy and you suddenly get hit by the healing ray, you feel like an impact of being healed.
Well, the idea here was, and I was involved during the development of some of these forces very heavily, and there was actually a group of guys developing at the time, including myself, before everything kind of went on and was released, and I'm the only one doing it now. But when we were doing it, what we wanted to have a force where it wasn't disruptive to the person, but it gave you the indication that you were being healed. So what happens is when you're healed, you feel a slight vibration, almost circular, a little bit like the actual beam, and then that you're being healed. It's really actually quite compelling when you try it. You're in game and you never have to think, oh, do I have a medic? You feel it. I don't have a medic. I need a medic. Period.
Wow, man,
Yeah.
that is insane.
When you're doing the healing, okay, tell me that the intensity of the sensation from the medigun increases with the Ubercharge level.
It does not, but that's a good idea.
And then
But
it could
at
just
the
like
same
freak
time, now
the
that
hell
you-
out when you hit that Uber.
Sorry?
It could like freak out when you hit Uber on someone.
Well, yeah, that was I really want to do that type of thing. Unfortunately, like the integration isn't there to actually implement that level of sophistication. I did contact Valve and say, can we do this? But I haven't really heard back on them on that specific point. That's one of the things I wanted to do. Actually, I'm glad you brought it up because I was thinking we should have something that you feel a really strong force, but we need to actually work together to reintegrate that into the source code type thing, So, but on that note of Uber charges, you can feel an Uber charge. So when you get Uber charged, both the medic and the person being Uber charged, if they both have Falcons, will feel a shake, and it actually it oscillates. So it goes as if like on the screen, how you see the Uber kind of goes in and out a little bit, has a nice little movement. The same thing happens on the Falcon. So you have a really cool little oscillating force there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I guess
I'm grinning like
and just
nothing.
getting the scope of your job is to just go into all the minutiae of every single weapon and think, what should this weapon? And it was described in words earlier, but I don't think I quite got my head around it. That you have to go into every weapon and think about every step of that weapon and what should it feel like.
Have you ever been hit by a weapon, or not hit, but have you ever tried to code for a weapon or tried to script for a weapon and thought, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this? Is there anything that stumped you?
Oh man, that's gonna take some thinking about. But I think in one of the the trumpet for it's the battalion's backup, but there's another one. What was it? Was it called the original one?
Oh,
No, the original was back.
The original was the battalion's backup. It was the.
Was it?
There's the Conjurer and there's one more.
Yeah.
What's the middle one?
I thought there was another one.
This is really
Buff
bad.
Banner.
We should
Buff
know.
Banner.
The Buff
That
Banner
was
was
the
the
first
original,
one.
of course.
That was
Yeah.
the original one. Yeah, and when I got to the buff banner, and they were like literally you blow in a trumpet to make the event happen, like to make the buff happen. I looked at that and I said, oh my God, what am I going to do for this? Because I had never once before thought I'm going to be making a force for someone actually using an instrument in a game. So,
That is a
and I
unique
mentioned,
scenario.
sorry?
That is a very unique scenario.
Yes, exactly. So what happened was I had to think of it in very, very abstract terms. So what I ended up doing is, and this ended up being, I mentioned this on the live show, it was probably 60 forces or more, 60 events, separate events that are triggering a force for this feedback. But what I did is I made it so that when you were blowing into the trumpet, you felt the lips vibrating against the trumpet. And whenever there were movements in your arm moving the trumpet up and down, you'd feel up, down, and more of an emphasized inwards force when he finishes off the final note. So it was really quite an endeavor, and it took me probably an entire day work just for the trumpet. So.
Okay, talking about really difficult things to script for, we've got Sir Crack Baby.
Yeah, this one's genius.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually asked a few good questions, and I've stolen some of his ideas without giving him a name check. So I'm glad to be able to do it now.
Shame on you.
I know,
Shame.
I'm awful. But he's asking now about the gun boots, or gun boats, I should say. When you're wearing those, is it a lessened force that you feel when you're rocket jumping?
Well, because with the gunboats you take less damage when rocket jumping, you will feel a less force. Yes.
Wow. Okay, actually, I really want to ask you, of all the things, I actually have a list of things I'd to ask you, and it only has one question on it. Regardless of whatever else happens here, I need to ask you how using a Falcon...
And that's all we have time for this week.
No, how using a Falcon do you rocket jump?
How do you, like
this.
you would with the mouse? I mean, it's the same thing. You're doing it in...
Wait, sorry, because you can look with and then you look, and if you go beyond a point of looking on the Falcon, it turns into a movement.
Right.
So is it possible to rocket jump only using the Falcon without using the keyboard?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen people do it. I've never tried it myself, and I don't even know the levels of rocket jumping that some people can do. I'm not a soldier player, like I've said before, but I've seen people do it in competitions we've had. I've seen them do perfect rocket jumps with no difficulty whatsoever, and these are guys who were using the Falcon. We had a 6v6 competition. Some of you guys probably have heard about it, or at least seen it. It was on Spuff. And what we did is we had 6 people using the Falcon, which was a team that sometimes included me jumping in as the demo man for the team, and sometimes not, depending, against 6 people from the community that were brought together specifically just to play against people with the Falcon. And we actually ended up going 6-2, meaning we won 6 of the matches and lost 2 against those people. So, and we had all rocket jumping soldiers. I mean, rocket jumping is an essential in competitive play. So I can tell you that they had no problems with it.
Do you have a team that uses only this? I mean, I know you talk about it like you got a team, you pulled a team together for this specific purpose, but have you got do you sponsor a team of be it Team Fortress 2, be it any other game, and tell them just to use the Falcon?
We once had a team approach us with that request, and we wanted to try it. We sent them on a Falcon, and the response I generally got was the response that they loved the Falcon and things like that, but they didn't want to take time away from the game long enough to really invest in the Falcon and use it exclusively. Because like I said, the more experienced you are with this, the harder it's going to be to adjust to it, especially if you have the mindset of a competitive player who's like, I need my aim, I need to aim perfectly every single time. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got that mindset, and it's fighting with the general nature of the Falcon, and also the fact that it will take longer with that mindset to really adjust to it. And that's partially the reason why we don't really pursue that anymore. And especially because we're not really targeting the we're not really targeting the competitive player. You're targeting people the majority of people who just want to play a game, have fun, and do want to be good with what they're playing as well. But you want to have a great experience, and I feel like competitive community isn't really going to be the ones. Sorry,
it's not a good match. And we talk about this sort of thing all
yeah,
the time.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's really not.
Of course, bringing the conversation circular, there was that 6v6 team sponsored by Fleshlight.
There was do you hear about this? There was a team that was sponsored by Fleshlight. I mean, they didn't get much for the sponsorship. To be honest, it was mostly a bit of a one-sided affair. It's like the other side may as well have not been there. It's kind of like a one-handed affair, to be perfectly honest. Which actually made it quite appropriate for Fleshlight to be sponsoring them. But no, it was basically. I don't think they even got Fleshlights for doing it, but there have definitely been some slightly obscure.
You don't understand. The only reward they needed was whenever anyone asked about their team, they're like, "Yeah, we're sponsored by Fleshlight," and the look on the other person's face. That's all you need at that point.
That's all you need, man. That's all you need.
It's like in interviews, do you have to like explain what a Fleshlight is and its benefits, or it's just like, because that would be just like, hey, yeah, we finished the match. Yeah, it was awesome that we came first, but let me tell you about masturbation. You could make it so much easier if you had yourself a Fleshlight.
My brain is thinking, I love Leo Laporte. I love the fact that he does this amazing. So he's basically the king of podcasting. But he'll turn any line into a "let me tell you about," and then go into the stuff that you could do.
Oh,
with
Leo Laporte. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I think we've
I
just
don't think
broken.
Fleshlight is one of his that he would have done. But hey,
I think.
Okay, wait. Very, very, very important question.
Go on.
What does eating a sandwich feel like?
Oh, that is a very important question.
And that is one that we don't have, actually.
Oh!
On my list.
Now I'm
it's
not.
on my list.
Oh, that's all right. Now I'm back on the buying it again. Oh, thank you.
Actually, taunts are currently is something that I want to implement, and that's not in the game yet. But there are that's the missing piece right now for me, is just having taunts. But really, that's more of an aesthetic type thing, I guess you could say. It's something that's just nice to have rather than something that'll affect gameplay. So it's just something cool, you know.
Okay, so what else is on your list then? I mean, not necessarily what else is on the list, but is there a huge number of items? I mean, we actually had people in the chat go off and count them, and there's like 100, somewhere between 150, 160 items out there. So, are there many other items still to do at this stage?
No, they're all done.
Apart from the sandwich.
Yeah.
Just the sandwich.
Except for anything that has to do with a third-person taunt, like the bonk, the energy drink,
Okay.
as well. Like anything that goes into third person to use, there's no force for that at the moment, but everything else is there. I assure you.
You talked about sort of the experience of swimming through water as being a different experience than running on land or jumping in the air. Is there a different experience if you're covered in piss? Or not? Because obviously, okay.
Does it still have to kind of feel like when you're in water? You know how you said it felt different when you're in water? Does it feel like that when you're covered in piss?
Does it feel like somebody submerged one of your fingers in a cup of cold tea and you know you're going to piss? No, more to the point, is there a different experience when you're being crit hitted? I think that's
when you're crit hit, yes, it's a lot stronger.
Right.
And I'm glad you bring up the crits, because when you fire a crit, it feels like a little bit like electrified. It feels very different and stronger. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're being rewarded for it, though? I mean,
yes.
I don't want to sort of drag on about this whole thing about the all of the YouTube stuff that goes up about and this is my Falcon and this is the amazing recoil it gets, and it gives this amazing like false impression that your hand is going to get your wrist is going to get brutally abused every time you fire your weapon. God, that sounds dodgy as well.
We're back to the
flashlight conversation. But no, that is basically a huge lie. I mean, they basically turned everything up to max and beyond in order to prove that, in order to show to a slightly dodgy camera that actually it does do something. But do you feel are you rewarded in a gratifying sense with a good powerful shot like you're saying with the Kritz rocket?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, the addition of crits was something that I did at a later date after the initial release was done, and everyone responded really well to it. And the thing about it is that when you get a crit without having a specific force assigned to it, you're just like, oh, I got a crit after the fact. As opposed to when you have the crit force with the Falcon, you know you got a crit. You're like, oh, that's awesome. I got a crit right now. I really hope this hits my intended target. And when it does, you feel a lot more gratified. Absolutely. That's the number one reason why I added it to the game, was because it added that sense of gratification. Yep.
Hang on, let me get this straight. you feel that you're going to get the crit before you get the crit.
Well, no. You feel it immediately, like as you're firing the gun, as opposed to having a delayed reaction. Sorry, I wasn't clear on that.
That's all right, because I was going to say that would kind of, in my eyes, mean that every competitive player should have one of these, because that would give them an unfair advantage. But no, that's actually really cool. I like that idea, that you actually you get that ahead of the time.
Yeah, no, it's the immediate touch is so much more immediate than sight. Like feeling damage, feeling crits, feeling your recoil, it's so much more at the core of how we experience things as like human beings. So for me, it's just like anytime you can add it to the experience. Also with being healed by a medic, it really can enhance the gameplay in a way that's not just being more fun, but actually being more helpful in what you're experiencing and actually being more successful at the game.
Have you fired many guns in real life?
No, like not one.
Really? Don't you think you should go out and fire guns? Because
actually, I've talked to people. My friend actually is a very big gun enthusiast, and I do want to have an experience that reflects the real thing of shooting a gun, especially in games like Call of Duty, and Crysis has a lot of kind of futuristic guns. Crysis 2, I mean, kind of futuristic guns, but some that are real and can actually be applied. So anytime that happens, I pass it by a few people and I say, does this feel legitimate? Does this feel the way a gun should feel? And I use that knowledge to build my future forces. And I mean, for that, I've never received once a complaint saying that this does not feel appropriate for the gun. And a lot of the times I have to say that having the actual force of what the gun would feel like in real life doesn't really apply to games. I mean, you have a lot more creativity when it comes to a game, because a lot of these guns,
especially on TF2.
Yeah, exactly. They don't exist in real life. And two, sometimes you want to make the force feel a bit more rough, or some kind of tied in with the way it sounds too. So you don't always want it to feel exactly like real life. Just like, like you just said, Team Fortress 2 doesn't really have many guns that are applicable in real life. If you want to fire a real gun, go to a firing range. If you want to fire a gun in a game and feel it, play with a Falcon.
Mm-hmm. I think you should get onto your bosses and say, like, I'm becoming a method actor now. I need to understand each of these things, and you could get to go and do loads of cool stuff.
Did you really
yeah, I need to know what it's like to fly in a jet, to be able to program this.
Well, if you're doing a flight simulator, yes. If you're doing a TF2 simulator,
Battlefield 3, they got jets in that, right?
Yes.
I don't think they quite handle exactly. Yeah, exactly. They've got jets in that as well. I don't think that's based in much of this reality stuff that we keep talking about.
I just want to address a question. Someone says you really need to fire a gun to know how it feels, or not a question, a comment. And like I was trying to say, the development of a Falcon Force is a lot more artistic than it is based on real life, because obviously you want it to feel good, but the idea is if it feels good to one person, it should feel good to another. And this is really going, wow, I can't believe how many times I feel like I'm going in the wrong direction with the type of crowd there is here.
Awesome. I just realized where you're going with that.
Wow. But anyways, it's about my whole approach to it is creativity, and that's why it's so fun, because you have all these new experiences that you can create, and a lot of times you make them from the ground up. And especially because I play so many games, I know what I want something to feel like when I'm firing it, and I know from the sound, from how it recoils in the game, I want to make that apply to the Falcon. So.
Because this is something I always say. There are some games that don't feel right when you shoot their weaponry.
Yeah.
They just feel weak. And then there are some games where it feels like, and that's not based on reality at all. It's based on the gamer's interpretation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I can completely get behind your logic of that. Like there are some warfare simulators out there that it just doesn't. It may be as realistic as possible, but that's not why you play games.
Right, exactly.
I mean, if you wanted it as realistic as possible, you enlist.
Yeah. You basically got to the exact point that was on my mind, and I'm glad that you did, because that's what I was trying to say. I mean, the game is fun.
Yeah. Actually, we don't want reality here. We want fun.
What? Yeah, I have plenty of reality. I don't need any of that when I'm playing a game.
Oh, no,
And he did that. So go on.
Man, someone let me finish. Oh no! Someone let me finish this conversation. I mean,
that's what she said.
Do you have? That's what she said. No, that's a Merc.
Go on, no, please let me finish. No, that's what she said.
Actually,
sorry, carry on.
That was no. Hang on. Yeah, go on. You want to say something, Whiskey? Go on, say it.
I've forgotten what I was going to say. Sure. Imagine I'd said something really witty and poignant.
Oh, right.
Excellent. Well done, Whiskey.
I kind of really want to end this. I want this to go out on such an awesome note. I mean, it's exactly on the hour now.
Well, tell you what, somebody in the chat room says, Renegade, how do I get in touch with you? If you ever want to discuss anything to do with it, if there's any ideas that people have that they want to suggest, or anything of that nature, how do they get in touch with you and possibly turn it into a reality?
The best way to get in touch with me is probably by email or going to our Falcon Army support ticket system. So you can do one of two things. You can go to the falconarmy.com website and sign up for it, and then send in the support ticket under, sales or whatever the particular question is about, and I will get it. I get all those tickets in the end, and I just distribute them as they need to be distributed. But another way is to contact me by email. So I have a specific email for community interactions, and it's falconers@novint.com. So that's falconers@novint.com. So for anyone who wants to contact me with questions, if they want help with development with FGen, you can contact me there. And really, number one thing for me, if you want help with FGen, I really want to get a lot of requests and just schedule one day where I'll do a live online class and show everyone really what's involved. So that's the best way to contact me.
I think that idea of doing a live stream and actually showing it off, and not just doing it for TF2, doing it for as many games as you can, so people can actually visually see it. It is just a shame, like you were saying. I'd love if this was something that could appear in shops so that people can just have a try. Like, if you go into certain places, they'll have 3D TV set up so you can stick on the glasses and see what it's like, or you can go and some games that are available for people to have a quick play. I think this is a perfect thing to have sitting in certain electronic stores so that people can come and just hold it and feel it and play it and try it and love it.
Dude, this is such like a fucking huge innuendo. It's an entire post-show.
I just want people to walk up to the counter, grab a hold of it, and be like, damn, this is good.
The feedback is incredible.
Yank it around.
Yeah, you just feel it vibrate in your fist.
Just feel it for yourself,
I think the biggest barrier to actually having in these big box stores is that they don't really, unless you're a Sony or a Microsoft, they don't really look at you at all. And I mean, I'm not saying that one day we hope not, we don't hope to be bigger, but right now we're not a huge company. So, I mean, they don't really look at you and say, oh, well, we'll put your product in the store and it'll be here next to the Sony PlayStation 3 to try. No, they just kind of ignore you. That's not exactly true. They'll talk to you and things like that, but to get them to step outside of their regular routines to help you sell your product is not something they're willing to do, So really, the best way to try it, ask a friend, like I said earlier. I mean, hopefully one of your friends will buy it with the Black Friday type discount. So then there you go. I don't want to sell too much. I feel like an advertiser. I hate feeling like
actually, before we do go away, I just want to clarify the fact that if you between the 23rd and the 25th of November 2011, if you put in the discount code KritzKast Black Friday 2011, you get yourself $100 off either one of the Falcons. This discount code is not just if you're an American, but if you're ordering from anywhere.
Yep. You can. Sorry, were you asking me or?
I was asking, but
okay. Yeah. It's designed for obviously the American holiday or shopping holiday of Black Friday. That's the whole point. But if you're from the UK, Australia, France, Germany, wherever. Even China or Japan, you can use this code and get $100 off on the Falcon. So really, it's a holiday in the U.S. that benefits everyone.
Awesome. We like those holidays.
Yep.
Well, Renegade, I think I can speak from the heart and say you've been an amazing guest.
Thanks.
We seriously wish you the best of success with the Black Friday deal, and just keep doing all the awesome shit you're doing, man, because you rock.
End of that, but you skipped it.
Oh man, I was gonna say you basically rock. I mean, you are the man. When it comes to Team Fortress 2 scripting for the Falcon, there is nobody better qualified to do that job than you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
What?
I was just looking at you are the only person that does it. So no, I know,
Yeah,
but yeah. No, that was
really,
quite
when
inside.
it comes down to it, the only person doing your job is
you. Yeah. No, seriously though, it's been awesome having you on the show today, and not just for Novint, Novint even, not just for the Falcon, but if you ever fancy coming back in and being a guest host, then you are more than welcome.
I would, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I mean, I love Team Fortress 2, and I loved your show. It's just fantastic. I can't lie, I hadn't heard it before, so I don't want you guys to feel bad about that. But I regret not hearing it before, because the only time I actually heard about it was with the lo-fi. I forgot the name of the hat.
The lo-fi long way. It's okay. Rusky made it.
Yeah.
It's not like you were
Yeah, it's
insulting
all right.
anyone.
This guy here made it.
It's our hat, and Rusky made it. So you're not insulting anyone.
No. But you'll be happy to hear that hat was so awesome. I wanted to know where it came from, so that's why I found out about KritzKast. So
There you go.
And I'm back.
And he's back.
What happened?
It's like, and I'm back.
Yeah. Rusky as well. Thank you very much for coming in, mate. And we all know how to get hold of you. But for those people experiencing KritzKast for the first time with this, how do people get hold of you, Rusky?
Well, there's a number of ways to get hold of me. My email is willseg@gmail.com. I have a website called willsegerman.com. I'm on lots of Steam things as Rusky Do. But you right there, Tempest?
Yeah, Tempest is just saying spam it, send him
Spam
spam.
everything.
See his
I'm trying to
account.
think of if there's any other. No, lots of
what's your
ways
Twitter
to get in
account?
contact with me. Say hello sometime. Yeah,
What's your
I do
Twitter?
Twitter as. Am I on Twitter? Am I Will Segerman again?
You Will Segerman, yeah. Is it Will Seg?
Probably.
Oh.
Probably. I don't know.
I'm glad
if you
you
want to find
know.
me, you can. I'm like the A-team, right?
Yeah. If
You know where to
need
find
him,
him.
With less Mr.
And you
T.
have money.
yeah, if you can afford his services, then
So wait, what was that in reference to?
I don't
My
know.
internet literally dropped out for a while.
Oh, amazing! Good timing then. We said nice things about you.
Cool.
Never again.
So wait, you're telling me
again.
there was an ego stroking and I missed it? Shit.
I know. Life is so hard. All right, Rusky and Renegade, thank you very much, guys, for being here with the live show, and also, of course, thank you very much to everyone who's joined us in the chat room. This has been the most epic example of chat room awesomeness for at least a week. We, of course, KritzKast.com will return in less than 7 days, but about 6 days and maybe 20 hours, somewhere around that. Of course, watch out for everything at KritzKast.com. The website will be back online as soon as we can talk to someone. Apologise for taking it down. And yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Webman. Can you please make us have our website back?
In the meantime, make sure you join
conversation
our
will be
Steam
happening.
group. Make sure you join our Twitter, and we will keep you up to date with all of the awesomeness that is the world of Team Fortress 2. I almost want to play the outro again. Can I play the outro again?
You can play the outro again. I think you can play the outro again.
Go wild.
Oh, I say that, but I'm not sure it's responding. Come on, machine. Come on. Okay, here we go. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Bye. Toodles.
That was another episode of KritzKast,
Oh, what's
Another
this?
satisfied customer.
brought to you by thepodcast.com.
Our influence grows.
Visit us for show notes as well as access to our Steam group, Twitter, iTunes, merchandise, and much more. Or have your say at forum.thepodcast.com.
Man, that was awesome. I'm going to stop.
Good show.
Stop.